Welcome all and welcome back to the Techness Corner. I'm your host, Seb Luka, and why don't you guys step right on in, take a seat, and let's get started with today's special unboxing. We've got ourselves a black box over there to my left. It's here for you all to be mesmerized by. All jokes aside, you may have noticed in Tech Consults episode 1, I believe it was, we had a GPU that failed, and under warranty, it's eventually made its way back to us. We don't have a complete full unboxing for you all, be it just a showcase of what's arrived. It is a refurbished model, but with that being said, it should be hunky-dory and work 100% well in relation to what it replaced. And without keeping you guys waiting too long, let's have a look at the XFX MERC 319 RDNA 2 Radeon 6900 XT GPU for use. Actually, for the client and his computer back there that we have to set up. So that's a 10700K system, and yeah, we have to get that going along with the unboxing of the ROG Strix 1000 watt power supply, because we need something a little bit beefier. It's recommended at least an 850 watt power supply for the 6900 XT to be running under. So to make sure there's some buffer room, that 1000 watt power supply is going to be utilized. If you guys are interested in that 1000 watt power supply, we just did an unboxing on it at the Techness Corner. So don't forget to like and or subscribe, and you guys can check out that and see whether it's worth it for you. They're currently on special, those Asus ROG Strix power supplies. They're about $50 less. So it's worthwhile checking them out, especially if you're in the Australiana region and whatnot. But yeah, we've got a 970 Plus Pro to chuck into that system as a boot drive and get this behemoth of a card that we're going to have a look at now chucked in there as well, and hopefully it works hunky-dory. Now that said, so let's have a closer look at the XFX Speedster 319 6900 XT GPU, which you may be able to pick up for a bargain price now that all the other new gen GPUs are starting to flood the market and whatnot. So let's go. Okay, I apologize, I've got my back to you all. Hopefully you can see in the other two camera angles what is going on. Essentially, I'm set up for the filming of that PC over there and us getting it back up and running. Now, we're not going to have all the goodies in the box because it's just a card, I believe. With that being said, have a look. Ooh la la. And there we are greeted with the card per se. So what we'll do is I'll take it out. Now, I've done a ligament in my leg, so hopefully it's not troubling us too much. But we'll grab this card out. So if I wince and I moan, then I apologize. Here's the card. So with that being said, XFS warranty card and just some information. We can pop that aside over there. That leaves us exposed with the Radeon RX 6900 XT Speedster MERC 319, and above first observation, it looks like it's intact fairly decently. This is a refurbished model, and we're going to get into it. So have a closer look. Now, honestly, peeps, I shit you not, this is the black edition, limited edition black of the Speedster MERC 319. It would honestly have to be one of the most beautiful GPUs I've ever seen in my life, frankly. From my understanding, this part here is accented and lights up with the RX being reddish, red and glow, and the Radeon 6900 XT sort of protruding and being of a lighter white glow. Then you've got the XFX logo over here. These 6900 XTs overclock can push to 3090s, 3080s definitely, 3070s no trouble. So depending on what you're looking for and how much they cost, consider these a great option because of the fact that they are going fairly cheap at the moment, considering the new RDNA 3 graphics cards are coming out. Now these are based on RDNA 2, and with that being said, this 6900 XT features the GPU chip, the Big Navi, otherwise known as, or Big Navi, which is Navi 21, 16 gigabytes of VRAM, GDDR6 memory. On the other side, they've got the MERC logo with an engraving here of the XFX logo. XFX has outdone themselves pertaining to the cooling, where it's an intake system and it does dissipate here. You've literally got the pipes on the end which are completely exposed, which allow for proper cooling of the GPU. Now this GPU is not a small boy, okay? You do need a fair amount of space. I believe it's 330 millimeters in length. So that's something to consider when looking at this GPU. You want to have a big case to provide plenty of airflow for it. The XFX logos here, I believe, all light up as well, but it's very tasteful. Unfortunately, you can't change the color scheme of the LEDs, but with that being said, it's not overly obnoxious. And because of that, if you're happy with this type of card, the 6900 XT, if you're stoked to grab one of these, then this is one of the better ones of the bunch, frankly, I think. And XFX hasn't branded it in a way where it's got too much RGB, where otherwise you'd have a monstrosity of RGB if you're not into that, and you'd have to circumnavigate by playing with the software and have it set up. Now, the full name of this is the XFX Speedster MERC 319, and if you're interested in knowing what the 319 means, well, it means the 3 signifies the 3 fans, okay? 1 signifies the 2 outer fans, which are 100 millimeters, and the 9 signifies the middle fan, which is 90 millimeters. So in turn, it gives you the XFX Speedster 319. And if you guys wondering what MERC stands for, it stands for Mercury. Apart from that being said, it does have a dual BIOS available to it. And the dual BIOS switch is easily located in case for some reason you get an updated BIOS and you have a failed BIOS, you can always flick the switch and as a result get into the card still with the other BIOS. That's easily located on the front side at the end of the 6900 XT logoing. So regardless of how you've got it positioned, either vertically or horizontally, you'll be able to access that. Now, to be brutally honest, guys, I don't say this lightly, it is one of the more beautiful cards I've ever seen in my life. And it's just accenting wise, the fact that it's black with the silver, it looks great. I can't complain, and I am slightly jealous. I've got a 6900 XT myself. I've got the Red Devil. This certainly makes that look like trash, to be brutally honest. All VRMs and memory and whatnot has its own dedicated specific thickness thermal pads attached as well, so that everything in line is going to be cooled substantially and kept cool while you're gaming, guys. So you don't have to stress about that. And yeah, what more to say is I'm looking forward to chucking this in the case for the customer, where with the combined with the Adrenaline software, the AMD Adrenaline software, the new driver software, he's going to have a blast of a time. And we're going to see if we can tweak it just a little bit for him as well to see if this card's got a little bit more grunt in it. But on the general scheme of things, you look at these and you would probably compare them to what is a 3080 of the time. So if you can get this instead of a 3080, I would definitely consider it. Power wise, it takes 2 8-pins here, so that's something to note. Yeah, connection wise, also it's got a HDMI 2.1 connection, 2 DisplayPort connections, high-powered USB-C connection, which was, I think, originally designed for virtual reality headsets and whatnot, but you can always get a dongle for that and convert it to a DisplayPort or a HDMI connection for not much if you do need that extra connection point and it's not for a USB-C connected device. So yeah, guys, there's not much to say except here it is. And the gentleman's been waiting a while for it, so I'll be happy to get it in the case for him. So to sum up, based on the Big Navi or Navi 21 GPU chip. It was one of the, if not pedigree cards that were released only a year and a half ago or so. Yes, only now are they being replaced with better cards of a higher caliber at the higher end SKUs of the GPUs today being released. So if you can get these, this card at the height of its cost was worth like $2,000. Was it worth 2,000 Australian dollars? That's another question. But with that being said, if you get them for a good price now, you won't be disappointed. They can play 4K gaming quite extensively and quite well. If you got enough to chill out for a 4090, then 4K gaming is another story, because it does take it up another level. But if you've got, 100 hertz 4K monitor or something like that, or less, then this will very easily compete and get you really good 4K gaming. At 1440p, you'll be over the 144 hertz, 165 hertz range in relation to mirroring your frames to the monitor so that you get good gameplay out of it. And they stay quiet, these cards. You can put an assertive fan profile on them regardless, and they'll run quiet, and that's really good. To reiterate, 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, so that's plenty for any gamer in this day and age. And compete wise, RDX 2080 Ti's, this snuffs it in the ass quite easily. 3070s quite easily. 3080s is where you're looking at the differentials between them and what you actually need out of them. As a pure gaming card, they're based on the PCIe 4.0 bus, but they are compatible with 3.0 machines and of later date. Yeah, the XFX Radeon RX 6900 XT MERC 319 Black features a total of the 4 ports with the HDMI 2.1 with VRR and FRL, 2 display ports 1.4 with DSC, and 1 USB Type-C port. The card requires 2 PCIe 8-pin connections, and XFX states the minimum power requirement is an 850 watt power supply, but we're going to be using that 1000 watt power supply to power this PC, just to make sure that if there are any transient spikes or anything, it's not a problem and we don't see a malfunction in relation to any components on the whole in relation to this card. It's got the MERC signature all over it, and it's really stylish. It's stylish in the way that if you're looking for a blackout system, something that you would consider, because this is really nice, stealthy blackout, sort of not even gunmetal. It's literally black with silver accents and whatnot. I'm really stoked that we got this back and the gentleman didn't get a refund in essence and or another 6900 XT to replace it, because there aren't many options in regards to 6900 XTs where you would choose a pedigree bunch. I think even Hardware Unboxed mentioned the 6800 XT variant of this was the best model of its class. So we've got the 6900, which is one step up on them. And yeah, if you guys want to see how she rolls, look out for, I believe it'll be Tech Consults episode either 6 or 7. And yeah, in relation to that black case over there is going to be featuring this card in it, and we're doing a essentially a rebuild with the new power supply, a new boot drive with the Samsung 970 Pro, still in Gen 3 in this case, so it's the best Gen 3 drive you can get at the time. Essentially in the next few days, perhaps a week or so, there should be a video featuring this card and how it's going. We'll do a slight optimization session on it where we'll overclock it ever so slightly and perhaps undervolt it at the same time and see how it goes. So look out for it. Unfortunately, I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I am slightly ill in relation to my leg and it's hurting even sitting on this chair discussing things. Hopefully I'll be hunky-dory for the build per se, which will be postponing the next few days so that I can actually stand up and do some work, guys. So my name's Seb Luka. Thanks for joining us at the Techness Corner. Hope you guys got something out of this basic, what we call unboxing. And yeah, I guess the Techness digests. And hopefully you guys have digested what's just been opened up and showcased. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and peace out, guys. Bye.